There's a huge difference between obedience and closeness. Obedience is impersonal. If you obey somebody for 100 years, you're not any closer to them. Obedience is from a distance. You obey someone that you can't get close to, like a king or a principal. So if a person is obedient, they're not close. It's like Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu is closeness. Malkeinu, obedience and distance. So imagine if a mother asks her son to make her tea every day for 50 years. At the end of 50 years, he finds out that she never drinks tea. She doesn't like it, she doesn't need it, she never drinks tea. She spills it out. So he comes to her and he says, "What was that?" So she says, "I don't need tea. I don't need. The reason I asked you to make me tea is to give you an opportunity to get closer to me." Suppose he does it. That makes him closer to her? It does not. On the contrary. How do you keep somebody at a distance? You don't want this person in your life. How do you keep him out of your life? You ask him to do something you don't need. You say, "Please go see if the grass is growing." Yeah, like watch for an hour, see if the grass is growing. By telling you to do something I don't need, I'm keeping you out of my life. So the mother who says, "I just wanted to give you a chance to get closer to me," is a horrible mother. The Eibishter doesn't do that. The Eibishter doesn't give you 613 mitzvahs that he doesn't need just so that you'll be able to get closer to him by doing it. If he doesn't need tefillin, and he has me putting on tefillin every day, he's making fun of me. He's keeping me out of his life. Because when you get right down to it, he doesn't need the tefillin. I certainly don't need the tefillin. What in the world am I doing? So what does closeness mean? If he needs nothing, then there is no closeness. If I wanted to get closer to you, there were a few steps I have to take. Number one, is there anything closer to you than me? Maybe there's not. If I want to get closer to you, I'm jealous. I know there is something closer to you than me, and I'm jealous. I want to be that close. But suppose there's nothing closer to you. Well, then I can't get any closer. If there's nothing more precious in your life than me, then I'm as close as I can get. There's no closer. The reason I want to get closer to you is because I know there are things that are more precious to you than me. I don't like that. I want to be that precious. So now I have to find out, what is more precious to you than me? The second step is, are you inviting me into what is more precious than me? Because if you don't invite me, then it's all over. So, what did the Eibishter do when he gave us the Torah? He came down and he said, the most precious thing to me is Shabbos. You're invited. Keep Shabbos with me. Now, if you keep Shabbos, you are closer to him than before. How much closer? As close as Shabbos is. If he needs tefillin, and he lets me put on the tefillin, then I get to be as close to him as the tefillin. That is the awesomeness of mitzvahs. And it really does get you closer, because the mitzvah is closer. Now take it one step further. Shabbos is the most precious thing to him, and he gives it to me. What does that say? What does that tell you? If somebody gives you what is most precious to them, then what is the most precious?
You are.
If I'm willing to pay you $10 to mow my lawn, what's more precious to me, the $10 or the lawn? How do I know? Because I'm willing to give away the $10. If the Eibishter is willing to give me his mitzvahs, I say, my God, you're giving me your mitzvahs? That's incredible. And the Eibishter is thinking, my most precious mitzvahs I would give to you any time, because I'd much rather have you. That's called a two-way relationship. That's a real relationship. You have a need and you're telling me? That sounds like an invitation. So why do we serve the Eibishter? Why are we Jews? Because the Eibishter is big, because he's smart, because he's strong. Why? Because he told us what he needs. How can you not melt from that?
But by him concealing himself and knowledge of him, isn't that creating a distance?
What does he conceal? Not at all. He reveals himself completely in the Torah. What he conceals is his looks.
There's something in between.
In between what?
Him and us is his Torah.
On the one hand, the Torah gets between us.
Right.
But if you look a little deeper, he's giving you the Torah. It's not getting between, it's drawing you in. It's putting you first. So what is he hiding? What don't we see? What don't we know about the Eibishter? We don't know what he looks like. That's all. But we know what he needs. That's much more intimate.